Well, good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome along to Day 2 of the GIO 2018 IWRF Wheelchair Rugby World Championship. And we are here in the Key Centre for Day 2 and Match 1. And it is a terrific contest. It's between Denmark and Ireland. Ireland, of course, opened the tournament yesterday with a loss to Japan. And, of course, Denmark had a thrilling win over Sweden. It was a 4-point win over the Swedes. So we're almost set here. John O'Farr and Gary Pate in commentary. Good morning to you, Gary. Great to have you here.
Good morning, Jono. Thank you for having me.
So we're underway here now, and it's a great start there from Moylan, who just tries to get possession of the ball for the Irish. Pops the pass across field, so we'll come back for the referee and the tip-off. Players battling for possession there. Deneen just working it way nicely for the Irish in the 12. Fredrickson in the 10. He played particularly well yesterday. Now they move it nicely through Fredrickson. Fredrickson just working, but Moylan's on his tail, so it's 10 on 10. Battles nicely. Deneen tries to work his way through. Great work there from Jorgensen in defence. Fredrickson just working his way nicely around the key, goes inside the attacking key and takes a bit of a spill.
And they've called a spin, and a spin is anytime you hit the opposing player behind the wheels, behind the axles, causing them to turn, spin, putting them in danger of some sort. It's really the one call in the sport that you don't like to see, even though usually it's incidental. It just happens, but it is the way people get hurt.
So Fredrickson, a dominant player yesterday in their victory over Sweden, was really strong, especially in that final term and in the clutch. So we go inbound now through Kruger. Kruger gives it to Fredrickson. It's a tactic here that we see a lot in wheelchair rugby, just slowing down that shot clock. And the points are there for Denmark. So first points go the way of the Danes. They lead at 1-0 over Ireland as Moylan will inbound it. Nice pass across court, finds Deneen. Deneen under some pressure, just battling his way through some traffic, trying to push at the line. Goes hard. Fredrickson doing his best there. So too Kruger. Nice pass down court, but it's picked up beautifully by the Danes, and Fredrickson will have it mid-court. He'll try and work his way inside there. Deneen battling well nicely. Great cover there from Jorgensen, but it's terrific stuff from Fredrickson, and the Danes go back-to-back with goals.
That was good pressure defense by the Danes. You have 12 seconds to get it across half court, and Ireland was running out of time. Denver saw it, picked it off.
So McCarthy inbound to Moylan. Played a great game yesterday in their loss to Japan. It's their first time in this Wheelchair Rugby World Championship. They're ranked 12th in the world, and I tell you what, they put on a performance yesterday they'd be certainly proud of as Thomas Moylan gets the first points for the Irish. So now inbound for Denmark. Fredrickson just trying to work his way outside that defensive key. Couple of blockers. Here comes Moylan on the right side. Jorgensen creates a nice gap for him, and he goes through for the points. So 6:45 to go in this first term, 8 minutes per quarter. What have you made of the tournament so far, Gary?
It's been two nice upsets. I think Denmark getting Sweden yesterday, not a lot of people saw that one coming. Denmark's really changed and is a much improved team. And then, of course, France knocking off Canada caught everybody by surprise, I think, except maybe France.
Yeah, Canada was strong last year in the national championship. They went through to that final against Japan and went down and picked up the silver medal as Moylan now just works his way nicely inside that attacking quarter. Fredrickson battling nicely in the 10. Kruger's trying his best to stop protection, and the goal is there to Thomas Moylan. So it was good work there from Thomas Pay, the number 1. He tried his best but couldn't quite get possession as Fredrickson now will bring it back for Denmark. Just work his way out of the key. John O'Farr and Gary Pate in commentary this morning for this opening game here at Key Centre. Fredrickson working his way nicely. Moylan, great battle here between Moylan and Fredrickson.
And they've called a reach on him. Yeah, illegal use of the hands. Sometimes on those reaches, it's very, very close as to whether you get the ball or whether you get the hand. And, of course, the players will always tell you they only got the ball. They never made contact.
So inbound it goes to Fredrickson. Fredrickson just slowing down that shot clock now. It's at 33 seconds.
You'll notice that Ireland is protecting the box, trying to keep the Dane players off of Moylan so that he can come onto the court. They've got 2 low pointers over there blocking the box.
So Deneen trying his best to cause a few dramas there. A bit of battles going on with Jorgensen and Deneen in mid-court as Fredrickson just slows down the clock. We're inside 10 seconds. He will take his time. And with 3 seconds to go on the shot clock, he gets the points there for Denmark. So 4-2 the margin now, 2 points in favour of the Danes over the Irish. Ball about to be inbound here. It'll be McCarthy, the captain for Ireland.
Ireland played that well. They kept Moreland free, and they were able to have one of their low pointers do the inbound, which is what they're going to try to do all day. They don't want Moreland as the inbounder. He's their best ball handler. They want him on the court. They don't want him being the one passing.
McCarthy played well yesterday in their game against Japan. Great work here from Moylan using his size and strength. So dominant on the court. Kruger's trying to come over and a big collision with him. Jorgensen doing his best to stop and create protection there. Passes it back to Deneen. Deneen works his way nicely now. There's nice solid protection there from the number 6 in Shane Delaney. And it looks like a tyre change here for the Danes.
You've got one minute to make the equipment change. The refs at this level of tournament sometimes enforce that pretty rigidly. In a lower grade tournament, sometimes you give the equipment guys as much time as they need. But
a little bit of flexibility.
Yeah, sure. But at this level,
does that time period vary based on the damage to the tyres?
No, it's just you have 1 minute.
So Moylan works his way nicely and gets the points there. So we've got a terrific game here. Denmark 4, Ireland 3, 4:49 left in this first term. Pass inbound, goes nicely to Fredrickson. His possession rate has been strong and high. Fires the pass inbound, goes Hail Mary, tries to find Kruger on the bounce, does so particularly well. And the points come the way of the Danes. McCarthy couldn't quite get there in time. And that margin now goes back to 2, 5-3, just over 4.5 to play before quarter time. McCarthy looking for some options, calls the timeout.
You'll notice that Denmark forced everybody from Ireland low, forced them down almost into the key, so you've got them all bunched up. It became very difficult for the inbounder to find somebody to pass the ball to, forcing the timeout. Nice defense by Denmark.
So you can see the Irish there just having a discussion, a board meeting. The Denmark side, they're just having a chat on the court. So 5-3 in favour of Denmark. 4.5 to go before quarter time. The last time these two sides faced off against each other, it was last year at the Zonal Championships in Germany. And Denmark won that contest 57-42. So it'll be interesting to see which way this one goes. As you can see, plenty of fans in the stands here today, which is wonderful to see for day 2. Moylan zipping up the sideline, goes inside. Fredrickson with the big collision, but the points go the way over the Irish. Now, nice inbound there. Fredrickson gave it from Kruger. And he'll just take his time. He might slow down the clock here. No, he'll go all the way. Interesting little ploy there, Gary, that I thought he might have sucked up a little bit of time on that shot clock.
We'll see that later in the quarter, but right now he was on a breakaway. Just not much reason to do it probably in his mind. Though sometimes from the sidelines, you're obviously thinking, take the ticks, let the clock run, and in the excitement of the play, you got the ball, you're pushing, it never enters your brain.
So Moylan works it well, and that's great protection there from Delaney. Just kept it nice and tight on that left-hand side of the try line, and the points come the way for the Irish. So 6-5 now in favour of Denmark. Nice battle there between Moylan and Fredrickson, but Fredrickson just a fraction too quick. So the margin, it goes back to 2 and it's 7-5 inside 4 minutes.
Denmark was trying to trap the Irish low pointer number 2 in the key down there to let the clock start running on him. He signaled to be the inbounder, got out of their trap.
McCarthy inbound to Moylan. Moylan now Jorgensen on his tail. Kruger thought he was going to have more of a crack there, but just decided to stay off him. And Moylan gets the points for Ireland. So 3:50 to go, 7-6. First ever meeting between these two countries in a wheelchair rugby world championship, which is great to see. Of course, Ireland making their debut this year.
And they had a tough opening match for it to be their debut. They did. They caught Japan, one of the best teams in the world, and really played well. Really played well.
Yeah, I was interested to see how the game would go because Japan were double gold medalists. They won last year in the national level. They won the previous year against New South Wales in the final. So double gold medalists at that national level, and of course fourth in the world rankings. So it would have been a big contest for them. But yeah, 20 points the margin in the end. And yeah, as you said, I thought they did pretty well in that contest. So now Ireland just trying to work their way nicely. Moylan holds up. Jorgensen tries his best, but Moylan gets the points.
As to be expected, every team has trouble stopping Moylan. He's really the key to the team.
Fredrickson working his way nicely. Speaking of that man, Moylan does well, tries to get him close to that corner post, but can't. And the points go there. So 2 points the margin, 9-7 in favour of the Danes. 3 minutes to go before quarter time.
And they're got a wheel change.
So a couple of tyre changes. I think the count last year at the National Championships was about 72 from memory. And that's right across the tournament.
People forget how expensive all of that becomes too. Every time you're changing a tube or an axle or a tire, somebody spent money for that.
So Ireland on the inbound now. Fredrickson tried his best. Jorgensen has a bit of a collision mid-court with McCarthy, but the points come for Ireland. So now Denmark, they'll just regroup. It'll be Kruger that has it inbound, gives it to Fredrickson. Fredrickson works his way nicely down court. Goes over the halfway line. Moylan tries his best to jam him into that corner, but can't. Fredrickson just a little too quick. And, geez, I tell you what, they're just so quick, aren't they, in open court?
You give most of these players about a half push, and they can just go off and leave anybody. Yeah. The key is to not let them get their speed up.
So ball goes back to Dineen. Dineen now just working his way through some traffic. McCarthy does well in protection. Fredrickson's all over him, tries to stop him, but McCarthy, he prevents that from happening. Dineen under great coverage here from McCarthy. Dineen works his way nicely. Alan Dineen still on the charge. Can he finish it? Just working his way nicely outside the key. 20 seconds on the shot clock. Still going Dineen. Oh, Alan Dineen. Terrific stuff for Ireland. That's a great individual goal, Gary.
And I think he did it with a flat tire.
Wow.
I think he did it with a flat. He just signaled. Yeah.
That
was a really nice push.
So let's see if we can find out where it occurred in this particular contest. It might have been that clash there with Fredrickson.
But you see, as soon as he scored, he's signaling he's got a flat. Oh.
So it may have been that collision close to the line with Fredrickson in that particular contest.
And not in that instance, but one of the things, players will sometimes intentionally play with a flat tire for several seconds, picking the right time to signal. Picking the right time. Like if the other team's about to score, they'll wait, and then they'll signal. So sometimes some of the strategy goes in as to when you signal for the equipment change.
So that tyre change, as you can see, just taking place there. Coaches and players just coming onto the field to help out with that tyre change. He's got to be close to that minute now as he puts on that spare tyre for Dineen. So ball inbound there for Denmark. Fredrickson working his way nicely. Just works his along the key. Kruger's providing some protection, but here comes Moylan for Ireland. McCarthy's doing well. Moylan just starting the charge. Nice inbound pass, Jorgensen. He gets the ball now. Tries to work his way around, but Dineen's causing some problems. Terrific coverage there from Kruger, and Jorgensen gets the points for the Danes.
And a nice pick. Nice pick to set him free.
So 2 minutes to go inside this first term. Goes nicely to Ireland, and Moylan will just tag it there. Fredrickson just doing his best. Here comes Kruger in attack. McCarthy's providing some good protection. Nice work from Delaney just to stop out the number one in Thomas Pate. Moylan now with possession of the ball, working it away. Just tapped over the top there from Kruger, and Fredrickson picks it up on the fly. And he zips away.
And with the clock under a minute and a half, both teams will start doing some clock management. They will either intentionally speed up to try to score quickly so they can get the ball back, or they'll start slowing it down.
So the ball is inbound. Deneen works his way nicely. Plays it at the line. Just trying to get that ball down court, and does so. Great catch there from Moylan. Moylan does well with the overhead pass there to Delaney. Delaney now mid-court. Just working his way across court. Good overhead pass to Moylan. Now Ireland start to build inside that attacking key. Bumps and grinds away from Jorgensen.
You'll probably see him want to score at about the 50-second mark.
So that's coming very close. We're about 5 seconds away from that. Moylan doing well. Just works his way around Deneen, providing protection. Tapped over, was tapped by Fredrickson, but McCarthy couldn't get the points. So good hustle there from Denmark. So just outside the shot clock, unfortunately, Gary.
And you would assume what Denmark may do is slow it way down, and at about the 14 or 15 second mark, take a timeout so that they can kill the entire 46 seconds. If you take a timeout, the clock resets to 15 seconds. But apparently they have a breakaway goal, and that ended that clock management. They kind of had a freebie. Yeah.
So Jorgensen there.
Well, if you can put points on the board, you put points on the board.
Well, they're certainly putting plenty at the moment. 13-9, the margin 4. Ireland really holding their own in this contest so far, 30 seconds before the quarter-time break. John O'Farr and Gary Pate in commentary this morning for this one between Ireland and Denmark. We hope you're enjoying the coverage. Thank you for joining us. Stay with us right across the 6 full days of the tournament, ending on Friday with the bronze and gold medal. As Moylan takes it forward. Plays it at the line. Now Deneen. Deneen just holds up there. Fredrickson trying to get the ball out of his hands and does so. Did well with limited real estate. Pops the pass over. Jorgensen, 10 seconds to go. Juggles with the ball. He gets the points on the board. Well, that was terrific stuff as he's got a couple of seconds to go. He'll get bumped over by Moylan.
Yeah, they played that perfectly.
But just terrific work early doors, wasn't it, from Fredrickson, getting that pass inbound and getting it away.
We went from a 2-point game to a 5-point game in basically the last minute and a half.
So terrific first term. Denmark lead at the main break, 14-9. It's quarter time here. John O'Farr and Gary Pate in commentary. We'll take a break and be back with the second term.
Corners, look in crannies, go down dark alleys, lose yourself, catch a lift, break new ground, turn things inside out, go walkabout, get set, go after the goosebumps. Never stop discovering.
So welcome back to Key Centre for day 2 of the 2018 GIO IWRF Wheelchair Rugby World Championship. And we've got a game in progress, as you can see, between Denmark and Ireland. Denmark, they lead at 14-9 at the break, but Ireland, they've got first blood in this second term, and it comes through Moylan.
I think it was really important for Ireland to come out and score. They could not allow Denmark to spread the points. So it was really important to get that first try.
Inbound it goes for Denmark. Nicely played there by Fredrickson. He'll just play it over on that far side. Works his way nicely down the court. Fires the pass inbound. There's points coming here for the Danes. It'll go through nicely. And it'll be the number 9 in Eriksson that gets the points. Christian Eriksson, who played a different role yesterday in their opening game against Sweden. Their victory over the Swedes was really defensively for most of the game, but sort of played an attacking role in that final term. So it's good to see him just changing that up a little bit today as Deneen takes it forward for Ireland. And they'll just play it at the line, over the halfway line. Possible a chance there for defence from Poland, but just read beautifully by Deneen. Had him really turning left and right, didn't he, Gary?
Yeah. Nice work.
So the ball inbound nicely to Fredrickson. Fredrickson will work it there. Eriksson now with the ball. Eriksson one-arm punch over the top. Finds his man there in Schotel. Schotel will now play it. Tries to get the ball loose. Deneen did well. Great hands there from Fredrickson. Worked it off the court. Played it nicely. Just working himself outside that attacking key. Now goes inside the key and goes over for the try. So Denmark really starting to lift here a little bit, but geez, Ireland are coming, aren't they, Gary?
This is a really important game for both teams. Ireland loses, they're sitting at 0-2 and pretty much takes them out of any sort of medal chance at all. Denmark, on the other hand, could be sitting 2-0 after this game, which I don't think anybody would have seen them as one of the teams still sitting as undefeated after 2 days of play. So we'll posture them in pretty good shape.
Yeah, I called all the action of that game yesterday, and Sweden, they were really coming second for most of the game, but come that final term, they stepped it up.
They really did.
And
they pushed it at the end, didn't they? Yep.
Yeah, Sandberg was one of the players. I saw him having a chat with the players at that three-quarter time break and just giving some instructions to his players, saying, we can get back in this, we can get back in this. They forced a few errors. They got very close. The last time they faced off each other, it was earlier this year, and it was a 4-point win to Denmark. And yesterday, very similar scoreline, just 3 points the margin. But
it's really important to have somebody like Sandberg on your team, somebody who's been there, who's seen it, who's not going to get rattled, who can kind of rally the troops there at the end. And you saw him doing that. They fell a little short, but.
So Ireland now on the attack through Moylan and Fredrickson. They've had a terrific battle here, haven't they? Deneen works his way nicely there in protection. McCarthy just tries to cover protection. Eriksson tries to get his hand at the ball there, but can't. Now Moylan pops it over the pass, and Deneen scores.
And the refs just missed one. The Ireland player hit the post, and the ref, as often happens, you're watching the play, and you don't see what happens in the peripheral over here.
So 16-12 the score remains as Eriksson now has possession for Denmark. Won't slow up the shot clock, so 6:17 to go before half-time. And Denmark, they lead by 5 now. John O'Farr and Gary Pate in commentary. Great to have you here in the broadcast box, Gary.
Nice steal by Fredrickson.
Great work there from him. Works his way along the line. Just takes it there, swings around. Comes across with Delaney, but couldn't get him. Fredrickson did well with limited real estate there, Gary.
He is such a complete player. He does everything well out there on the court. I think he's really the key to this team and its success right now.
So the ball goes inbound from Delaney, goes to Moylan. Moylan just holds up the pass, now fires it across court. Delaney's come from the left and now through the right, now through the middle. Has the pass inbound. There's McCarthy now with possession. Just pops it away sneakily there to Moylan. Moylan does well. Deneen's trying his best to get possession and clear. You can see Delaney getting clear. It'll be interesting to see if he protects him beautifully, Moylan. And now Moylan goes through. Delaney's a great defender. Created a huge gap there, and Moylan goes through for more points.
It's amazing sometimes the size of the holes that you can create down there in the key. You think the wheelchairs just clog it up, but sometimes you could drive a truck through them. Good teamwork. And
what a great steal there from Fredrickson, taking it back. He thought he'd lost it. He's not quite happy with it, as you can see his reaction on screen. But, the points come there for Denmark. 6 points the margin now. It's getting a little tougher for Ireland to get themselves back in this one, but they are fighting. Dineen works his way nicely. Barks some orders, loses possession of the ball. Now he gets the ball away. Gives it across to Moylan.
Ireland's got to figure out a way to protect the ball. They've had way too many, and not even necessarily turning it over, but just some sloppy passes, some drops, even sometimes when they've gotten the ball back. That takes the momentum away from you. If you had a little bit of a flutter out there. So Ireland needs to protect the ball a little bit better if they're going to play back into this. And they've also got to figure out some answer to Fredrickson.
So you can see the Irish just having a meeting there. If you're after any ticket information, head to the website, www.2018wrwc.com, and you'll be able to pick up all the ticket and event information. Tickets start from $10 as a concession price. Obviously, they get a little bit more expensive for the finals, but you can pick up an event pass for $75 for adults, and the family pass will be $190, but that's right across the 6 days. So if you've got some spare time, some free time, come and join us out here at Homebush, either the Key Centre or the Netball Centre. Both venues you'll have access to, and you'll see some wonderful action right across the 6 days as Moylan tries to work his way inside that key.
And you know, the nice thing would be they could see it in person and not listen to us.
Exactly right.
I'm not trying to lose an audience, but you'd much rather see it in person.
Absolutely.
So come on out and we'll give autographs and pose for pictures and everything.
Tick that box. Even they could have the iPad running with the headphones and get both.
The whole thing.
See it live and hear us.
That's a win-win.
Ball inbound nicely. Jorgensen tries to work it. Be interested to see when Peters comes onto the court. The headband twins, I've nicknamed them yesterday. 3 and 11. So the ball inbound nicely there from Jorgensen. And the try will be going to Elmholt, who played a great role yesterday, especially in that third term, to get themselves into a comfortable position over Sweden before they had that rush. And, geez, I tell you what, it was in that final term, the Denmark-Sweden game, and I thought for a moment that Sweden might have taken us to extra time because they were really coming fast and the turnovers were happening pretty quickly.
We haven't had a extra time game yet.
Don't say that. Don't say that.
Did I just jinx us?
Oh, that's all it takes, unfortunately, Gary. We're going to have one now.
Maybe 5 or 6. You could just run it on. There's never been an extra time game like the gold medal match in Rio between Australia and USA.
Was it double overtime?
Double overtime.
Yeah.
Double overtime it's absolutely the best rugby there's ever been played anywhere. It was two giants just slugging each other.
Yeah, I was sitting at home in the early hours watching that on the iPad and seeing it unfold in Rio de Janeiro. Of course, Australia picking up the gold medal. A couple of years ago here, Japan and New South Wales went double overtime in a gold medal match at the national level as Moylan gets the points for Ireland. So now Denmark will inbound it through Eriksson. Goes long and strong down towards Elmholt. Elmholt, some limited real estate. Dineen caused a few issues there, didn't he, Gary?
He did, but Denmark got the timeout right before he went out of bounds. So they'll hold on to the ball at the cost of a timeout.
It's amazing to me how these players can get themselves so involved in the game, yet be aware of things like timeouts, things like shot clocks.
No, it's called practice. It's called practicing. They do it over and over and over. Some of the teams even will at each practice, will practice such things, just that. Hitting a player with the ball right as they go out of bounds, and his job is to see if he can get a timeout. So wow. I'm assuming that most of these guys and gals have done that.
So the ball now just goes out of bounds there, as you can see. Eriksson tried his best to keep the ball inbound, but that will go out of bounds. So it'll be an inbound for Ireland, and McCarthy on our side of the court here at the Key Centre as Moylan works his way through mid-court. Here comes Eriksson, tries to give him a shove and a bunt. Goes through at the line. Jorgensen battling well. Dineen creating some protection. Moylan still with possession. Hole on the left, now on the right. McCarthy created it beautifully on the left, and the points come for Moylan. So now Denmark will work their way in through Eriksson. Jorgensen now has possession. Plays it at the line. Leon Jorgensen, terrific game yesterday. Scored plenty of points for Denmark. Now works his way nicely through the defensive area. Gives the ball across court to Elmholt, but he'll call a timeout.
The teams have two different types of timeouts. The timeouts that are called on the court by a player last for 30 seconds. You have 4 of those. Each coach also has what's called coaches' timeouts or bench timeouts. You have 2 of those, and that lasts for a minute.
So you can see the Irish just having a meeting on court, and Denmark come back onto the court after having their discussion. So they last played each other last year at the Zonal Championships. Denmark won at 57-42. Denmark lead at 21-16 at the moment. So this is a terrific contest developing here early doors on the second day of the World Championship. Nice work to Peters. Peters plays at the line, and one half of the headband Twins gets the try. So now Ireland will play it inbound through McCarthy. McCarthy will have Deneen there on his right, but go left to Moylan. Moylan works it way. Peters tries his best to just try and squeeze him into that sideline. Here comes Kruger. Bang goes Peters. And he zips through for the points. Moylan showed great strength close to the line. Didn't touch that corner post too, so terrific effort there, Gary.
Moylan has such a future in this game. You know, he is still a kid. He hasn't played long, and you watch him out there, and sometimes he looks like a veteran. And you think about the younger players coming along. Ireland has a real future. If they can keep Moylan healthy and active and involved, build around him, and think that just a few years ago, you would never even think of Ireland being here, and they're competing at the very highest level.
So Peters takes on the line here for Denmark. Has Moylan just on his left-hand side, but he won't need him. And he zips away for the points. Kira Staunton is another player for the Irish that played particularly well yesterday. Haven't seen her on court yet. But just one of those great females that's involved in the sport. I mentioned it yesterday on the broadcast. Maya Marshall for the Kiwis. I remember Robin Lambert for the Asteron West Coast Enforcers here in Australia. Terrific performer. There's been a number of other females in the sport, and it's wonderful to see that unisex appeal for wheelchair rugby as Moylan takes it through, zips through and finds that gap and gets the try.
That's one of the great parts of this sport. If you qualify and you can play, doesn't matter who you are, men, women, older, younger. The youngest player in the States that I know of who actually plays a great deal for his team is 10 years old. 10 years old.
Okay.
And he gets a lot of playing time. There's also some players in the States who are in their 60s. Not saying they get a lot of playing time.
Yeah, right.
But they're out there, you know.
That's great. That's fantastic to see that huge age range. As Moylan gets possession of the ball, a young developing player for New South Wales in their Gladiators system is Harry Clist. He'd be around that 10 or 11 mark.
Really?
So a developing star for the future. I know there's a lot of people, including the coaching staff, that want Harry to develop and really be that future and be that sort of focal point for others to follow. So he's been involved in the sport for a number of years, Harry, and so let's see if we can possibly get him into a Australian jersey in a number of years' time and possibly be that next Riley Batt or Andrew Edmondson, those sort of players that have represented so well for the Australians over the last couple of years.
Well, you know, and one of the great things is that it enables people with disabilities to see, because for so long there were no opportunities to do things like to engage in any sports of any kind, and it's a great message that this sport sends. That again, if you qualify and you can play, get out there, put on a jersey and play.
Oh, 100%. And there's such great work from the IWRF and Disability Sports Australia, Wheelchair Sports New South Wales. They do some wonderful work in this country, getting players involved in the sport, having days out, expos, just getting exposure for the sport as Moylan gets the points there. And they're just doing some great work. Brendan Talbot, a friend of mine, has done some wonderful work right around Australia to bring that wheelchair sport to the masses and try and get as many people involved in the sport, but not just at a playing level, but at a spectator level, a sponsor level, all that sort of stuff.
And you know, I don't think I've ever talked with a person who has watched the game that didn't love it.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
The intensity of it gets them straight up.
The push is to get people to come see it.
So we've just got the timeout called there. So 25-20 in favour of Denmark here. John O'Farr and Gary Pate in commentary this morning. Just under 2 minutes to play in this first half. Play is done in quarters of 8 minutes.
Ireland is staying with them. I thought there was a chance that Denmark was going to kind of start pulling away, start putting them away, build the lead, but Ireland's kept it in that 4, 5, 6 range.
Yeah, they did a similar thing pattern game-wise with Japan yesterday. So, yeah, you're absolutely right. And now the ball will be inbound here through Kruger. Kruger will have possession here. Just plays at the line. Now Fredrickson passes over the top. Nicely worked from Peters. Great spatial awareness there. And he gets the try for the Danes. So 26-20 now. The points and margin is 6. 1:42 left in this half. McCarthy pops the pass away. Just away from Moylan. But he'll have enough time to get there. Here comes Kruger with the defensive line. Can't quite get Moylan, so he goes through for another try. Denmark works it way nicely. Gave it away to Fredrickson. Fredrickson just holds at the line. Dineen tried to work his way back to Fredrickson. Now he works it nicely. Dineen battling well, calls the timeout. Interesting tactics used here, Gary, during this match.
They did not want to use a timeout at that point. There was a minute 38 when they got the ball. They were going to run it down to about a minute and score, putting the ball back in Ireland so that Denmark could score 2 of the last 3 goals. Score at about a minute, give the ball back to Ireland, let them score, and then score the last goal. So you outscore them 2-1 in the last minute and a half. To accomplish that now, they had to use up a timeout, which they're now out on the floor. They have none left for the second half.
Well, that'll be interesting to see how that goes. Of course, the local side, the Australians, they take on Sweden. That'll be at the Netball Centre. A packed house is expected to be at that. You'll be able to see all the live coverage of that on the live stream as we go inbound now through Fredrickson. Fredrickson over the half to Moylan, and he goes at the line there. So nice little passage of play there. 27-21, that margin back to 6 points. Head to the website www.2018wrwc.com for all your ticket information. Wonderful to have our sponsors, the naming rights sponsors of GIO, major sponsors of City and Land Rover as Moylan goes through for Ireland. Of course, the supporters through the Australian Defence Force, the Australian Navy, Rugby, AU and Wheelchair Sports New South Wales. We thank them for all their efforts. And, of course, the government, the Australian government, New South Wales government, and, of course, Sydney.com for all their support. And, of course, the event host, Disability Sports Australia, as now Peters has the possession for Denmark and will go through. And they will get.
And he scored at 50. That's exactly what they're trying to do now, is to let Ireland score in the first 15, 20 seconds and then get the ball back. And have scored 2 of the last 3 goals.
So great work there from Dineen. Dineen works it at the line. Just plays it. Goes inside the attacking half now. Kira Staunton is set to come onto the court, you would think, at some point. And it's terrific work there from Dineen. Dineen will just try and work it nicely. Holds up the clock. 16 seconds left on that shot clock. Dineen might have to go hard at the line. Just pushes one left and right. Goes through bumps. Needs to get the pass away. Can he get the miracle ball away? He's close to the line. Gets it, but it comes back for Denmark. The ball is lost over the line. Geez, great hustle close there, wasn't it, Gary?
That was an amazing play by Sarah. I'm just sitting here looking at that. That really intense down there. Ireland got the ball back. They've still got 2 seconds on the shot clock. They did not reset the shot clock because possession never changed. The ball was fumbled. Denmark never had possession, so Ireland's got 2 seconds to score.
McCarthy, Moylan, siren goes.
And it went off.
So the shot clock is there. 8.7 seconds left in this.
So we'll see if Jason Regeer's team for Denmark has got a 8-second play in their pocket.
Ball goes inbound. Fredrickson has the ball. Maybe needs
a
miracle.
Really want to score.
Goes down the line. Goes hard. Has Peters just in front of him. Fredrickson might go all the way. 1 second left. Oh, geez, he just gets there, doesn't he? 0.3 of a second left.
Well played, well played.
Thought he was going to use Peters there on his right-hand side for just a moment, but he decided to go himself, and it paid off, and the siren sounds for half-time.
Well, Moreland's down there by himself, and it's twixt and tween. He either tries to stop the ball and force a pass, or you've got that split second to make the decision which offensive player you pick up.
So we have a break at the main half. It's a terrific contest here between Denmark and Ireland. Denmark, they lead it by 7, 29-22. John O'Farr, Gary Payton commentary. We'll take a break. It's half-time here at the Key Centre, and we'll be back for all the action of the second half.
See, feel, climb. First out, last in. Look round corners, look in crannies. Go down dark alleys, lose yourself. Catch a lift, break new ground. Turn things inside out. Go walkabout, get set. Go after the goosebumps. Never stop discovering.
Ladies and gentlemen, in the grand stage, welcome to see us over in the Denmark section. I'm with a man who's about 3 times the size of me, but I'm the size of a jockey, so it's probably not fair. I'm with my good friend, Life. Life, what are you going for today?
I'm going for Denmark, of course. We're going to win.
They're going to win. What's your score prediction, Life? What do you think?
I don't know, 50-something for Denmark. I don't know. 45.
50 versus 45, sounds pretty good. Do you have a favourite player in the Denmark side?
Yeah, but he's not playing. He's my brother. He's assistant coach. Beautiful. Otherwise, I'm going for Mark. He's a Viking.
Beautiful. And how long's your brother been an assistant coach or been involved with the Denmark national squad?
Oh, he's been playing the squad for many years. In the last 2 years, 1 year, assistant coach.
And how much time and effort do these fine athletes have that they put into their craft?
A lot of hours, a lot of days, and a lot of training camps. It's a lot of hard work.
Beautiful. Now, one last question. How proud are you of this Denmark squad?
I'm very proud. They're good. They're 2-2 today if they win. They're good.
Beautiful. Well, Mike, thank you very much for being on the broadcast. We do appreciate it. And well, we'll see. Will Denmark finish on 59-45? Yeah, it's a possibility. All the best, my friend. Thanks. There's 1 minute remaining in the long break until the players come back on. Denmark 29. Plays Ireland 22. Of course, this tournament wouldn't be made possible without the assistance of the International Wheelchair Rugby Federation. GIO, the naming rights sponsors to the tournament, and major sponsors City and Land Rover. You may, of course, see some wonderful men and women in uniform representing the Royal Australian Navy. They are, of course, very large supporters of wheelchair rugby, the Australian Defence Force, Rugby Australia, and Wheelchair Sports New South Wales. We thank them for their ongoing contribution.
Welcome back to Key Centre. We're in three-quarter action of this game between Denmark and Ireland. Terrific contest so far, as you can see on your screen. Denmark leading at 29-22, and that's now become 30-22, courtesy of Mark Peters just getting the points. John O'Farr, Gary Pate in commentary. Of course, we're looking forward to the Australians taking on Sweden. That'll be at the Netball Centre, but you'll be able to see live action on the stream here as Moylan gets the points for Ireland. So Ireland, they were coming off a 20-point loss to Japan yesterday at the Netball Centre, but they're really holding their own here, Gary.
It's tough to bounce back after getting beat like that, and I think it says a lot about the character and the spirit of this team from Ireland, that they're playing a really good Denmark team. They're playing a really solid team that knocked off Sweden yesterday, and they're basically holding their own. They've had one or two rough parts in it, but other than that, nothing to be ashamed of.
So Moylan gets the points for Ireland on that particular occasion. Of course, Ireland 12th in the world, Denmark 9th. So a good little battle. I suppose the score's going the expected way, but geez, I tell you what, Ireland, they're really just showing plenty of fight in both the contests against Japan and here today against Denmark on day 2 of the GIO 2018 IWRF Wheelchair Rugby World Championship.
And, you know, one of the things we haven't commented on is Ireland's down several people. They're only here with 8 rostered players, I think. Most of the rest of the teams have rostered 12. So a team with 11 or 12 players rostered has a lot of depth, has a lot of flexibility. They can keep the players fresh on the court. And Ireland's come here to play the best in the world with only 8 players.
Well, a team that has plenty of depth is Team Japan. They're currently taking on New Zealand over at the Netball Centre. They just played so well yesterday against Ireland. Double gold medalists, as we spoke about earlier. But just so much strength and depth. Kevin Orr, the coach, really uses his bench well as Deneen tries to work his way inside the attacking key. And the ball will be inbound from the corner, just on the right of screen, as you can see there. 6:49 left in this third term.
Peters in the box for a reaching foul.
So they're down to 3 players. Now it'll be inbound there from McCarthy, who has Moylan there. Moylan does well. That reach and size just did well to get over Schotel there for Denmark. Moylan slowing down the clock. Interesting to see which way he goes. He has Deneen there just in front, but Deneen, he'll just go in protection now to Schotel. And there goes Moylan through for the points. So 32-25 now. Denmark by 7.
And what Ireland was doing then was forcing Peters to do the inbound. They trapped him on the sidelines. He had to raise his hand to say, I'll be the inbounder.
So nicely worked from Peters. Peters gives the ball away to Schotel. Schotel, big collision there with Deneen. Schotel works his line. Great coverage there from Peters. Schotel under some pressure, fires the pass away. Here comes Peters. This is where Mark Peters is at his best. And he goes through for the points. So nice little battles developing mid-court. Peters really creating some holes. Deneen nicely in defence. Moylan gets it from McCarthy. Moylan will play it at the line. Just plays it across court. Has McCarthy just on the flank there. Goes through. McCarthy creates plenty of headaches there for Schotel, which gives plenty of room for Moylan. And they go through for the points. So 33-26 now. Another try to Thomas Moylan for Ireland. Denmark will inbound it now. Fires the pass inbound. Nice pass to Peters from Schotel. Schotel goes down court. Here comes Moylan on the fringe. Tries to battle his way there. Gives him a bit of a bunch, Peters. But Peters does particularly well to stay on 2 wheels and gets through for the try.
You know, one of the things that we haven't commented on, which is actually a strong thing, and that is that's the referees. You watch some matches and the referees kind of become part of the match.
Yep.
And these refs have done a beautiful job out there. You almost don't know they're out there,
that's what you want, really.
Which is really what you want.
Yep. So Deneen will play the ball at the line, gives it nicely downfield. Just goes to McCarthy. McCarthy coming, but here comes Peters with the big collision. Gets it back to Deneen. Deneen works his way nicely. Got some traffic to get through. Has Moylan on his left-hand side. Moylan will provide protection.
And Moylan knocked him out of bounds. They're going to put him in the box for leaving the court.
So that'll be an interesting tactic there as Eriksson comes off the court.
A defensive player cannot leave the court between the posts. If so, they go to the penalty box. If an offensive player without the ball leaves the court between the posts, it's a turnover. Of course, if the offensive player with the ball leaves the court between the posts, it's a try.
So inbound nicely from McCarthy. Gives it away to Deneen. Deneen works his way nicely, just tries to find the gap. And the hole there, works his way nicely, just slows down the clock. About 28 seconds left on that shot clock and goes through for the points. 34-26 now in favour of Denmark. 5:20 left on this game clock in terms of the third term. So it'll be Schotel that inbounds it. Gives it nicely to Fredrickson. Fredrickson plays it inbound. Goes to Moylan. Nicely at the battle there. Moylan tries to get the ball away. Good pass over the top from Fredrickson. Now to Schotel. Schotel works his way through mid-court nicely. Gives it to Eriksson. Eriksson now slows down the play. Good contact there for the Irish. Ball over the bounds. Fortuitous bounce for Fredrickson, and the points come for the Danes. So now it'll be inbound for Ireland. McCarthy inbound to Moylan. It's great to see the number one for Ireland, Will Doggett, on the court. And now Moylan just going through for some more points. Doesn't waste time. They've got some points to catch up.
They really need to force some turnovers. Denmark has played a pretty flawless game. They haven't made a lot of mistakes out there. And at this point, Ireland needs to pick up the pressure a little bit. They've got to force some turnovers and shave that margin a little.
Schotel works it nicely at the line. Just great protection there from Eriksson. Came across beautifully. Really created a nice little hole there for him. Goes inside for Moylan. Great coverage there from McCarthy. Moylan works his way nicely over on the far side. Comes back through the middle. Goes through mid-court. Goes over the half and into the attacking quarter. And he'll get the points there for Ireland. So 36-29. So 7 points to margin, 4:20 to go before three-quarter time. John O'Farr and Gary Pate in commentary. Great to have you here in the commentary box, Gary.
It's a pleasure to be here. Nice working with you.
Of course, your time at the Paralympics with the mighty NBC network.
That was an amazing experience. I actually had declined to travel down to Rio, and when NBC started looking, I really think I was the only person left in the States that knew anything about rugby.
Wow.
Really think that may have been why they picked me. Had a pretty small pool to pick from, I think.
Well, it certainly gave you a great experience to be there at Rio de Janeiro and to see the Australians win gold as Moylan works his way through.
But listen to this. I wasn't in Rio.
You weren't in Rio?
I wasn't in Rio. Most of the Paralympic analysis and color and play-by-play was done from Hartford, Connecticut.
Is that right?
They told me that about 70% of the Paralympic commentary was in a booth in Hartford, Connecticut. And about 50% of the – you didn't know that, did you? See,
No, I didn't.
And about 50% of the talking heads in the Olympics were in Hartford, Connecticut in a booth. Oh, Lord, I'm telling secrets. I probably shouldn't tell those.
Well, the cat's out of the bag now.
Yeah, yes. So I spent a week in Hartford, Connecticut rather than a week in Rio.
Well, yeah. I don't know which is worse.
Well, they treated me so well.
Right.
Again, one of those great opportunities that you never see coming. And you get a phone call and somebody says, "Can you come do it?" And I said, "Well, sure. Much like this morning." I said, sure. Always say yes.
Well,
always say
exactly.
Yes. Always say yes.
Exactly. I think that was the advice from Richard Branson. Say yes and work it out later.
Absolutely. You miss a lot of great opportunities if you don't say yes.
Exactly right. So 37-30 in favour of Denmark as Fredrickson will take it up the line. Goes over the halfway line. Great battle there from Moylan, just pushing his way through. And Fredrickson gets the points. So they're just starting to gallop away a little bit here, Denmark. 38-30. Just inside 4 minutes before three-quarter time. So it'll be McCarthy that inbounds it.
You know, with the points scored a try at a time, it's really hard to come back from 8, 9, 10 points down. It really is hard. There's just not enough time. So Ireland at this point isn't concerned about being 8 points down. What they need to do is figure out how to cut it down to about 5 or 6 points down.
Okay.
They if you look and say, can I come back from 8? No. But can I shave a point off and another point off and another point off, and all of a sudden you get it down? I've watched USA and Canada in London in 2012. USA was down by 8. Was down by 8 in the first period. Canada just came out and slugged USA in the face.
Yeah.
The game ended up a 1-point game on the last second. USA, over the course of the game, shaved the points, shaved the points. Yeah.
Incredible.
Yeah.
Sweden did a similar thing, but their only point margin difference was 6, the biggest one in the game, and they ended up losing by 3, which was a little bit heartbreaking considering they just worked so hard in that final term, but maybe left it a little bit too late. But some work to do, obviously, for them in their next contest against Australia, which will be a terrific challenge for them as Moylan works his way nicely through mid-court.
Well, really, at this point, the game against Australia is the tournament for Sweden.
Yeah.
They've got to figure out that puzzle. If not, they're sitting at 0-2.
And they've got so many forces right across the court, the Australians. They've selected a superb team for the 2018 IWRF Wheelchair Rugby World Championship. Goes across nicely to Schotel for Denmark. Now fires it inbound and gives it away to Schotel. So Fredrickson started it, and Schotel will finish it. Try goes to Denmark. And now the margin goes to 8. 3:16 left on the clock before three-quarter time. It's McCarthy now will have the ball inbound. Gives it away to Moylan. Moylan just working his way nicely. Pushes his way at the line. Fredrickson doing particularly well in that line. Great work from Will Doggett in protection. Goes across court to McCarthy. McCarthy holds up the ball, waits for the opportunity, and the pass. Nice, clever pass to Moylan.
Beautiful pass. He looked left and passed right. That was beautiful.
Oh, that's
nice
terrific
play,
stuff.
Man.
Terrific
nice play.
stuff. Fredrickson has the line. Goes to Moylan. Plays it hard. There goes Deneen across court. Tries to stop him, but the force and the power of Fredrickson goes through for the points. One of the great names of wheelchair rugby, Sebastian Matthias Winkler Fredrickson.
Is that his? That's a
his
beautiful
name.
name. I mean, it's not Jono, but it's a beautiful
no,
name.
not everybody can have that title.
No.
So Moylan now will have possession and goes through. He gets the points for Ireland, 40-33. Ball goes inbound nicely to Fredrickson. Good pass from Schotel. Did particularly well, Fredrickson, with limited space on that sideline. Comes across his Moylan. Fredrickson, again, these two number 10s have a terrific battle mid-court. Trying to work it. Beautiful pass. Threaded the Neville. Schotel will go through, and the 12-on-12 attack goes the way of the Denmark 12, and Schotel will get the try. Inbound from Ireland. Nice pass away from McCarthy, the captain, leading the team from the back. Comes across there to Moylan. Eriksson does his best to try and get in there. Threads the needle, goes through mid-court. And Moylan again is calm and collected and goes through for another try for Ireland.
And, you know, I know that Moylan is young and strong and athletic, but he's got to be tired at this point. He's just pushed and pushed and pushed and carried this team and done so well.
So we go through to Fredrickson for Denmark. Again, him just slowing down that clock. 33 seconds left on that shot clock. Goes in mid-court. 41-34 in favour of Denmark. Just over 90 seconds to play in this third term. Here comes Deneen with some trouble. I thought he might have created a bit of trouble there, but couldn't quite get around Fredrickson, and the points come.
Was trying to knock him into the post. Good effort. That's exactly what Ireland needs. Ireland needs to
force a mistake.
Yeah, has got to stump them a time or two.
So the ball inbound from McCarthy onto Moylan. Moylan will take it up mid-court. McCarthy providing good protection. Great gap. Oh, he moves so well inside that attacking key around Fredrickson, and he gets the try. But you're absolutely right, Gary. He's just been really lifting this Irish team forward.
That's almost
getting
That's exactly what they need. He's swiped the ball out. And if I was Ireland, that's what I would do. I would try to attack low, maybe try to deny the inbound or contain the inbound down here. Keep Denmark down here and hope for the turnover or two.
Ball goes inbound. Nicely played away there to the number 1 in Thomas Pay. Pay will have the ball away to Eriksson now. Eriksson tries to make his way up court. Has possession, draws in the man through Deneen. Great hands, Schotel. Schotel now works his through mid-court. Tries to go around. Deneen's come from everywhere. Eriksson will work nicely. Might try to get the pass to Fredrickson and does well. Terrific work. Thomas Pay creating some havoc there in protection. So too Schotel. Now it goes away to Fredrickson. Fredrickson just going there. Schotel creating a nice block. Couldn't get Deneen out of the way. And that's terrific stuff from the Danes. Another try goes the way for Sebastian Fredrickson. And the points come for Danes. 43-35 inside the final minute of the third term.
Now Ireland wants to score the last goal here because they get the ball coming back in to start the fourth. So that actually takes 2 points off of the lead at that point. So I'll be surprised if they don't hold it for the last try and then come out, start the fourth quarter, get the first try then, and all of a sudden the lead's down to 6 instead of 8.
So ball goes inbound to Moylan. Moylan goes away there to Deneen.
Exactly their strategy.
Deneen just slowing the clock down. 10 seconds to go. Moylan tries to go at the line and he'll get the points and the try.
And the question is, did he score too soon? 7 seconds. Can Denmark score in 7 seconds? And watch this. Length of the court. Somebody got behind Ireland. That is not what they wanted.
So it will go the way of Schotel. So with 4 seconds left on that game clock in the third term, 44-36. So Moylan will play it. Clock counts down. Siren sounds, and that'll do us for 3 quarters here between Denmark and Ireland. 44-36 now. Due to some scheduling, myself, John O'Farr, will be heading over to Australia, Sweden. But wonderful to have you here in the broadcast box, Gary. Pleasure to call with you, sir.
Maybe we can do it again.
Absolutely. So still 5 days to go here at the Wheelchair Rugby World Championships. Please join us right on the stream. Stay with us here for Denmark and Ireland on this stream, and then head across to the Netball Centre feed as Australia take on Ireland. My name's John O'Farr. On behalf of Gary Pate, thanks for your company here, and we'll see you a little bit later today in the broadcast.
See, feel, climb. First out, last in. Look round corners, look in crannies. Go down dark alleys, lose yourself. Catch a lift, break new ground. Turn things inside out. Go walkabout, get set. Go after the goosebumps. Never stop discovering.
This one is 7 minutes remaining in the fourth.
That's another draw.
It's a good defense on the defense of submission. Easy match. As all calls a coach's time. All their coaches' comments, and they have one player timeout remaining.
Sharp hit right there from the Irish is Michael Ryan.
And again, the Danes using the arrow route.
As they reach the half century. After some heavy defence there from Denmark, Ireland cross to advance their score. Doing the complete 180 is Ireland's Michael O'Hanlon. Denmark use a coach's timeout. At the completion of this game, there will be some students from Woolooware High School who will be taking the court to find out for themselves exactly what wheelchair rugby is all about. Might be worthwhile hanging around and witnessing that. Equipment timeout called by referee Adler. Just slipping through John McCarthy's fingers. Let's give him a hand, folks. That's Christian Eriksen. Over the top for Ireland's Kiara Staunton. Kiara is one of 5 female athletes participating in this week's championships. Finding a way through is Stephen Alimar. That, ladies and gentlemen, is the end of the game. Denmark finishing on 56, defeating Ireland 47. Very, very close to the prediction we had from the Denmark faithful. Predicted 50 to 45, so not far off at all. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for both these nations. They've done an outstanding job today. Put on a wonderful display. These athletes train very, very hard to be able to do the things they do on court, and they've got 2 games today, each country. So it'll be very, very taxing on the body indeed. Congratulations to both teams.